Hey everyone, this morning we are on the Atlanta Beltline as we visit probably my favorite pastry place in all of Atlanta. They've actually got 3 locations. It's called Little Tart. Today we'll be going to Little Tart's Krog Street location. So here we are at Little Tart. This is the only thing open at Krog Street in the mornings. Everything else opens at 11:30. But we'll hop in line and I'll show you guys some of my favorites. Hopefully they haven't sold out of them yet. So here is their selection of pastries. They've got a lot here and actually already sold out. It's only 10 a.m. We will most definitely get this praline pecan escargot as well as the chocolate pistachio croissant right next to it. I mean, they do all of these layered pastries very, very well. And they've also got cookies at the top here if you are interested. I won't be getting any since I'm by myself, but be sure to check it out. I missed this, but they have the frangipane tart, as well as the filled Kouign Amann, a regular Kouign Amann in the back, and the pecan crumb tart. I just got all of my pastries from Little Tart. I got 4 of them. So I'll go from kind of the most traditional all the way to stuff I haven't seen in other cafes. So first is the pistachio chocolate croissant. I think one of the things that this bakery does very well is these layered pastries. So here we go. I'm gonna try to bust it wide open for you. And as we see the crumbles falling apart, let me put this down. I am making an absolute mess right now because of the flakiness that is in this chocolate croissant. And it's not like chocolate. As you can see, it's like mostly pistachios. It's more like chocolate chip. Yeah, so it's not like they made a chocolate sauce. This is mostly pistachio, which I think a lot of places that do a chocolate croissant will do mostly chocolate with almonds sprinkled in. But this is awesome. It's so flaky. I mean, just from me eating it, it's got all of these crumbs already. They're falling apart in my hand. Oh, we finally got to the chocolate here. So it's definitely a mix. But I mean, look at all these crumbs from the flakiness here. This is very, very good. This would go good with some coffee because it's starting to get a little too sweet for me, especially as we get to the more chocolate forward layers rather than the pistachio layers. But no bite is missing any pistachio. It's not like, oh, they just did a chocolate croissant. Every bite has pistachio, sometimes more pistachio and sometimes more chocolate. So many layers. You can feel the amount of times they layered the butter or shortening in. This is the crumbs from just eating half of it. That's how flaky this thing is. So next, I've found that most places that do Kouign Amanns, they're very good because the Kouign Amann is a very difficult pastry to make. It's spelled Kouign Amann, maybe double N. But Kouign Amann, Kouign Amann for people who don't know how to pronounce it. I know I once did. I still do. But here's their Kouign Amann. And the reason why I got interested, they actually called this homemade Nutella with hazelnuts added in, with crushed hazelnuts. So I was initially not gonna get it, but I have to try what homemade Nutella looks like, or feels like, or tastes like. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh. So it is definitely wetter than the store-bought Nutella. My guess here, just that it's not, that it's dropping more, is maybe there's much less milk powder. So I think this is a pretty good bread to sauce ratio. Okay. So as you eat this part of the Kouign Amann, you get this like bruleed, crispy sweet sugar. And then the hazelnut spread is definitely closer to a chocolate taste compared to Nutella. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but you can see it kind of like dripping down here. So as I hold it here, you can see it dripping down. Okay, so I did say that the bread to sauce ratio looked really good, but at this point, it's getting very, very sweet. I think I may have caught the sweeter half of it, because if I'm taking a look at this half, we're really starting to run out of sauce here. So I'll save this for later, but I will definitely spread the sauce around a little bit. I know when you're baking, it's hard to get like a perfectly equalized split between, 50% on each half of the pastry. Is quite difficult. There are so many flakes on this table right now because of how flaky, in a good way, the pastries are. Okay, so this is the pecan berry crumble, I believe. Pecan berry crumble. So this looks like it's gonna be a dry disc. I know a lot of gluten-free places will do this. It's not gluten-free. I asked what the berry mix is. I don't like blueberries, but I love this. So I'll bust it open for you. So as you can see, it's like definitely a mix of berries, whether that's blueberry, raspberry, blackberries. And then it's got this almost granola-like texture to it. I didn't even point out, but on this half, you see the pecans as part of the crumble. Sorry, I think it's pecan here in the south. So while I'm chewing on this, Little Tart has 3 locations, and on the weekends, they get super packed. Probably because these pastries are so good. So you can do a couple things. I think you can do reservations so you can get a seat, maybe call ahead. I can't recall exactly, I would look that up. But if you don't want to stay there, you can also just order your pastries for pickup. That way, you're not worried about if they're gonna have the pecan tart when you show up in the morning, or whatever croissant or whatever pastry you would like. All right, lastly is, I want to say this is also pecan, but this is their pecan escargot. Doing a little swirly here. It is straight up hypnotizing. So the way it's set up is that they actually rolled the filling in. It's almost like a, I wonder if they make it like a porchetta and they make a huge one and they just cut it in slices and bake it. That would be amazing. So I don't know how else to show this to you guys. I guess I'll peel it back. This also has layers. Oh God. But as you can see, it's flaking right there. Oh. To me, this is the best out of all of them. I mean, I love the crumble, or I love the pecan tart crumble, but this hits that Asian compliment of not too sweet. It probably gets much sweeter right here in the middle, but I think this, if you eat it this way, it's almost like an adventure. You start easy, and it gets super moist and less flaky in the middle. If I had one critique about Little Tart, I think that their latte syrups are a little strong. For example, I had their lavender latte, and that was the most lavendery latte that I've had, in the sense of it almost tasted medicinal because of how strong the lavender flavor was. But because they use counterculture beans, I would probably just go with like an espresso or a long black next time I get a coffee at Little Tart. But for the most part, my move, I just do my order for pickup. I go home and make my coffee, have the pastries in peace. So there you have it. That is 4 pastries from my favorite pastry place in Atlanta, Little Tart, 3 locations. Go check them out.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.